All right. I didn't do the intro. I'm just going to jump right into it. We'll see if people start coming in the next few seconds. But anyway, so I'm here in Indiana, and I basically I wanted to do this last night, but it was such a long drive with everything. And then I got to my hotel super late. It was like 11 o'clock at night. By the time I got my shower in and everything, I was just so exhausted. So I just went straight to bed. But I wanted to do a live while everything was still fresh in my mind. And I kind of wanted to, hey Carrie, and I just wanted to touch base with everybody and say hi. I'm still in Indiana. I'm driving. It's nothing spectacular. See, it's just, hey Victoria, nothing spectacular. Just driving through Indiana. I'm about 6 hours away from Buffalo, where my final stop is for the next few days, and then I head back to Arizona. So we had a rally. We had many rallies. Hey Robin, we had many rallies this last week. We had Calumet County, and then we had Madison on Thursday. Hey Alice. And then we had Manitowoc on Friday and Saturday. So it was a pretty busy week. When I originally was planning Calumet and Madison, I wanted to try to do a day in between rallies for us to rest. But then Victoria was told by the family that they wanted another rally on Friday, so she did 2 rallies in Manitowoc. So it was from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It was just bam, bam, bam. But we made it. We made it through. We're all probably super exhausted. I am. I'm tired of driving. I kind of just wish, these are the moments when I wish I flew, because at this point I would have been home by now. But, hey, Jazz yes, tired, Robin. I hope everyone who's traveled to the rallies from out of state, yeah, totally safe and sound. Thanks, Jazz. Yeah, I hope everybody who traveled out of state made it home okay, or is making it home okay. Hey, Roxana. Hey, Rhonda SD. So, especially those that are traveling to the UK, like Rhonda, I hope you're doing okay. I know Joe Doherty flew in from the UK. I hope she's doing okay. Yes, I am still on the road. I am in Indiana. You can probably hear road noises. Yes, we did. If you need a break on the way back, okay. Jeff. Oh, Robin, if you can't see chat, it's probably because you're on Facebook. You can only see Facebook comments. If you come to YouTube, then you'll be able to see all the YouTube comments. Oh, Rhonda, you just got home. Awesome. Yeah, nothing like being home and in your own house and sleeping in your own bed. But yeah. So, rally highlights. I'm trying to, because like I said, I wanted to do this because I have a really bad memory. And I'm trying to recall any best moments of the rally that we had, or anybody had. I think let me think here. My favorite rally was probably, believe it or not, the Manitowoc rally where it was raining. Yes, it was cold and wet, and towards the end there, it was getting kind of miserable in a way, because there was, kind of on and off, and you get cold, and but I love the rain. We don't get a lot of rain in Arizona. It's monsoon season now. A lot of people who are not from Arizona, like, what does that mean? It's basically when tropical storms from the Baja Peninsula of California and Mexico come up, and then it rains, it dumps water. There's a lot of flash flooding and stuff. It's like turning a hose on and then turning it off. I mean, it's great. I love monsoon, drought, so we don't get a lot of rain. So just being in a place where it was raining was really nice and refreshing. So I really enjoyed the rally, particular rally, because of the rain. So I think that would have been my favorite rally for that. Right, Rhonda? We're all so great here. That was the other highlights that I know I caught a lot of moments on the live stream, and I do apologize for muting a lot or whatever. It's just, if someone came up to me and wanted to talk to me about something personal, I just didn't really want it on live. I don't want you to hear about somebody's hemorrhoids or something. So, but there were a few moments that I did capture that, looking back, I'm like, that's really sweet. I noticed that I accidentally got Barb and Brad giving each other a hug, which I thought was really, really cool, and very heartwarming. I know Brad did come up to me and apologize too, which I thought that was really respectful and good of him and awesome, and so we made amends. Not that I had, it wasn't like a beef or anything, but I want nothing but peace between people. I'm all about, let's just come together and work together and put our differences aside, and I'll squash it if you squash it, and we'll both move on, and we'll just move forward and keep doing the best we can for Brendan, because at the end of the day, we're all here for Brendan. So those were highlights for me. Trying to think of more. I know, by the way, I just want to give like a special shout out. I don't know if they're watching or not, but Chanel and her husband, and then Leanne and her husband. I can't remember the guys' names because I'm awful memory with names, but those two couples were absolutely, like, I don't even know how to like accurately describe how amazing those, like, everybody was amazing, but they went like above and beyond for a group of us that they just met. Like, even though like Chanel and Leanne knew us from online, but just to know that they went above and beyond for us as a group, like paid for lunch for the group of us. Leanne's husband and I think Chanel's husband too went around to different businesses trying to put the signs up in the Jack. That's his name, Jack. Thank you, Rhonda. Like I said, I'm off. I thought one of them's names was Mike. I think I remember Linda telling me, but I am so sorry if I'm getting it wrong. but Jack definitely is Leanne's husband. That's right, because I remember now that Carrie likes to call him Jack Jack. Anyway, they're just like Leanne and Leanne's husband, and I think Chanel's husband went around to the businesses and tried to persuade them to put a sign in their window for Brendan. Like, it's just like amazing dedication and hard work that was really inspiring and refreshing. And it was about, and that's what I feel like these rallies, Mike and Chanel, that's right. See, I was right. It was Mike and Jack. Okay. Hi, Jinx. That's the one thing I really like about what we call our MAM fam. But there is a great sense of community. And, well, Jinx, if you want to come up, you can. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, anybody is welcome to come up if they want to share any thoughts. There is the link. There. I just posted the link in chat, so if you do want to come up, there it is. I'll just do that. So wait, maybe I can do this because I am. Nope, I can't. Okay, anyway. Oh, wait. Here's Jinx.
Hello. I don't have a voice anymore.
Oh my God, you don't have a voice.
No more shouting for me this week.
You weren't joking.
Yep.
Holy shit. I thought my voice was bad today because I'm still clearing it and like all that stuff. But yours is
Mine is almost gone. I gotta speak for my diaphragm.
right. Hey,
you can even hear my voice. So what have you covered so far? You've been on 10 minutes. I didn't see you get on until just now.
I just basically was saying that, what my highlights were of the rally and what my favorite part. And so far I said I did like it when it was raining, even though a lot of us probably got sick from that. But I love the rain. So I was like, I'm loving this rain, and then just the fact that a few people made up, like we squashed our differences and are kind of like, being at peace now, which I think is awesome.
That's good.
And then I was just saying, how Jack and Mike, Chanel and Leanne's husband, both came, and they just like were above and beyond, and I was just about to say it just really highlights why I love our little group, because we are a family, we're a community, and somebody, Jack, I think Jack bought our group, and then Mike bought another group of supporters lunch, and like things like that are just like, just because it's like we're all on the same team and we all like have the same goal and we all care about each other. And I just think that's really special.
Yes, I agree with that. I think everyone pulled together wonderfully. I think it was a great rally. Both days, rain or shine, we were out there. Everyone was out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then
together, got together afterwards, got to get to know people more in the community. It is a family. I agree, it's a family. I loved all the hugs, by the way. I my favorite part were all the hugs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not much of a hugger, but even I enjoyed the hugs. I enjoyed giving everybody a hug and got to see everybody. And I got a bunch of selfies from people because that's just what I do. And yeah.
I was
I
just
didn't
about
get
to go watch the end of the rally that I missed because I was having lunch with Mike and Chanel and Joe
yeah.
Doty and Robin. No, Robin wasn't there. I had drinks with them, I think, but Kelly and her daughter April were all there. We had a little group of 6, so I was just about to go watch it, and I saw you live, and I'm like, "What is going on?" Came over here. Oh, Nosy, I made you a sign. I don't know if you saw it, but I made it so even if you held it upside down, it would be right side up.
Yeah. Jinx, by the way, so, okay, a highlight that I have at the rally was Jinx was the yeller. Like, she had the freaking voice. When she got there, she was screaming and hollering and yelling. As you can tell, she doesn't have a voice now. But yeah, Jinx was definitely the voice this year, I would say.
I didn't mean to be. It just happened that way. I'm surprised I didn't lose it that first night because I really thought I was going to.
And thank you, Susan. That was the other thing. Like, I do apologize for the moments that I, had to mute, or if my camera was all over the place, or I tried my best to make you guys feel like you were there with the chants and everything. Oh, Victoria might have that sign, Jinx.
Yeah, I know she does because I left it in her. It was with her signs and I didn't grab it. But that's okay.
Yeah, I know I have Linda's sign.
Maybe make it better next year so it's looks nicer. It was kind of quick and done right on the spot there.
Yeah, it was a great sign. And then next year, Nosy can hold it because she'll be there. And I know that's the other thing is we all say next year. I think realistically we all know that it's still going to be a battle for the boys. So don't feel guilty if you say, well, next year we'll do better or whatever.
I always say next year because even when they get out, it doesn't mean the system has changed. And we don't want to see a twice wrongfully convicted person again. We don't want to see an innocent teenager who has learning disabilities get coerced into stuff anymore. These are the things that I hope change. I hope that their cases would set precedent. I mean, Brendan's case has already been setting precedent, and they've been changing laws in states. Now, Wisconsin, I don't think Wisconsin's changed really any, but
no, it hasn't. The one place that needs it the most. All these states around Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, everybody else is recognizing Brendan's story and how it's a problem, and they're making these changes in their system. But Wisconsin is still burying their head in the sand and pretending like it's not a problem, and that to me is more of a problem. Because how many more Brendans? Remember the what was it, Joshua Walcott?
Right, he's another one that I wanted to look into. That I met a woman on the street. It was very interesting meeting some of the locals this year. I mean, I met that woman, Aisha, I think her name was Aisha Walcott. Her son is Joshua Walcott. He's going through the system as we speak. His trial, I believe, begins in November, she said. So I definitely want to give a peek into that case because I also think part of exposing their corruption is to look at the cases that are happening now. Because if they were corrupt in 2005, if they were corrupt in 1985, what are the chances that they're corrupt in 2022? I mean, it's a possibility that these cases that are more recent also have this corruption in it as well. So this is an opportunity to go look at a recent case. We met that disabled man in a wheelchair who said that they are discriminatory against disabled. There was a person in Two Rivers talking about cops resigning after being accused of rape, and they just let him kind of go, and nothing really happened with those cases. That was very interesting. We met a woman in the Walmart when we went, and she's like, we told her, she saw our shirts. We were all wearing our Brendan Dassey t-shirts or whatever t-shirts that related to the case. And they were like, she said she thought they were innocent. And I said, you should come to the rally. We're having another one tomorrow. We were at Walmart Friday night. And she came back. She walked away. She's like, she had to work or something. I said, well, if you get some time or you know anybody that wants to join us. And then she walked back up to us and she said, do you know anybody that knows or talks to the guys personally? Because she wanted me to relay a message to both Stephen and Brendan that people in Mishicot and Two Rivers are, they believe they're innocent and they're with them. So it's good to know some of the locals are standing with them. And it was good to hear. I don't know about the time I was at lunch, but I didn't hear for the 2 days that I was there anybody screaming they were guilty out their car like we had heard in the previous years there. So that was kind of interesting as well. So
even in Calumet and Madison. Now we had great great reception at Manitowoc. But even in Madison and Calumet, we didn't get hate. You know, like they didn't lock the doors on us again in Calumet, and the police, I mean, didn't really do anything. But like even in Madison, there were quite a few people who were interested. They took flyers, they took business cards, they, you know.
I'm sorry. There was one car that drove by that gave us a middle finger. I didn't happen to see it, but Linda did, and she said it was the cops. I'm sorry.
Right. She, and then after that, she was like, "Fuck you, police!" And I was like, "What is going on?" Like, what?
Again, it wasn't the locals that are just citizens; it was a cop.
Isn't that funny? But you're right. I've talked to more locals in the area this time around who were very supportive of what we were doing, who said absolutely they're innocent. Last time it was I don't know about Stephen, but definitely Brendan. But this time it seemed like, oh yeah, both of them.
There were a lot more
and
justice.
Yeah.
Opinion.
I did talk to Brendan that Saturday after Jinx told me what the lady at Walmart in Mishicot said, and I told him that message, and he was very happy to hear that. He was actually, I was telling him, like, we've got nothing but positive. This was before the cop flipped us off. We've got nothing but positive occurrences here, and it just seems like the tides are changing. Like, you can feel it in the area. People are starting to wake up and realize, like, there are options and you have to fight it, but you know, you can get better. Yeah, eyes are opening.
That was one of my highlights too, because Becca got to talk to Brendan on Saturday morning. I got to say hello, and I got to hear his voice in real time, which was pretty awesome. He sounds the same.
So what?
I got to tell him my little chant.
So I was just I asked you before, is it okay if I ask you again, how did you feel when you were talking to Brendan? Like, what was your perception of that?
I don't know. I was just kind of in shock and went with the flow. It's pretty cool that you get to talk to him all the time. Here's what I noticed. I'm not going to, maybe I shouldn't say it, but after I talked to him and you went off to talk to him more by yourself and alone, I heard you guys just talking about casual stuff. And I thought that was so cool that you guys can have that conversation, stations where it doesn't revolve around the case. You're like friends with him, like real friends. I wouldn't know what to say to him. I've never written him because I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to, it would all be like case related. I mean, I don't follow Pokemon and I don't follow wrestling, so I don't have those things in common with him, but it's good someone in the community does, because I'm sure it helps him to just have a friend.
Yeah. Well, I tell people he's an amazing guy. He really, truly is. And he's so easy to talk to. And, I feel very blessed that I have that opportunity to call him a good friend of mine. Like, I consider him a good friend just like I consider you a good friend, Jinx.
So I mean, it was good to hear his voice. I was excited to hear his voice. I was smiling big. I wish I could hear his voice in person, and hopefully when they are, like, if we go next year and they're free, we're all locking arms with Stephen and Brendan chanting for justice.
Yeah.
Justice reform.
that's what we were saying that last day there before we all left. We said, well, maybe even if they do get out, we should still continue doing these rallies because like Brendan's not the only person, Steven's not the only person right now in Wisconsin that's wrongfully convicted. You know, just like that woman whose son is now in jail. You know, going to be trialed for something that he didn't even do. They're accusing him of like or something like that.
You just are breaking up a little bit. What? Becca. Okay, I think we lost Becca. Becca, we lost you for a few minutes. You're kind of guitaring. It's kind of like the guitaring and falling out. Did I fall out?
Oh, am I here? Can you hear me?
You're back now. Yes.
Okay. Woo.
So, now I don't know what we're talking about.
I forgot now too. Okay, so let's see. What else highlight do we have for the rally? I enjoyed sightseeing with Linda on Wednesday. That was a lot of fun for me. And I know Linda said that she had fun with that too. And I did break her a lot by making her walk. So
Linda was broken.
I know. I felt
broken. She let herself be broken for the boys, and that's awesome. So
yeah. She was a real trooper with it, and she really she showed up to every rally. Now she couldn't stay for the full one when it was raining, and I don't really blame anybody for not wanting to because it was raining. And a lot, like, I enjoyed it because I don't get rain, but you know, I know how some people feel about that. So you know, I completely understood if nobody wanted to go out there and stand with us. It doesn't make you any less of a supporter just because you didn't stand in the rain. But yeah, she went to everything.
I got her refrain from the rain because I went into the courthouse and into the sheriff's department for a few minutes.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it under the tree, and then I would have my little umbrella that I stole from somebody. I think it was really broken, but it worked, and yeah, had my jacket on. I have tons of laundry I have to do. I fell once. Those were my
Nobody noticed.
Those were it seemed like every time I turned around, a seagull pooped in my eye, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught it. In the second Manitowoc rally, I felt like it felt like a raindrop on my face, and I was looking around, there were no clouds, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I literally was like, did God just spit in my face or something? And everyone around me was like, I don't know. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And then later I saw a seagull poop in the sky, and I pointed that out in the live. And I was like, haha, that's cool. But then later that night when I get back, I start connecting the two incidences, and then I realized a seagull pooped in my eye. You know what I mean? I was just like, wait, mystery liquid falling from the sky with no source, and then I saw a bird poop in the sky. That was probably a seagull pooping in my face. Hey, Zach. Yeah, next
one eye to your eye.
Yeah. So, and then I think it was Carrie in the chat who was like, you should go wash your face because I know a friend that went blind. So if I go blind in my eye, that's what it is.
All right. We will definitely hunt down that seagull and put it on trial for blinding.
Eyes out. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I got pooped in the eye. One day I got pooped in the eye. The day before, I fell in front of the Brendan billboard in front of everybody. So,
were you live at that point? No, I don't think you were. Right? It was just pictures we were taking over there. There was no live over there, right?
seen live. I did the live after I fell.
Well, then you only fell in front of 12 people instead of, more.
A couple hundred, yeah.
You could
So
have
there's
not
that.
imagined it, and nobody would have known except us little group.
No, except for you 12. And then I would have had to, like, if I swear to God, if anybody says anything, I will hunt you down. I have addresses. No, I wouldn't do that. Maybe. Anyway, so that was a cool highlight, though, was seeing the billboard, huh?
Yeah, I like that. I did a little video too when we came into Raleigh on Saturday because there was that other billboard that's not a digital billboard either.
Yeah.
It's coming into Manitowoc from Two Rivers, so you get it in one side of the town, the other side of town, pretty much. So it's kind of cool that there's two of them out there. The digital one was pretty cool also, man. It had two different ones for it had the 125,000 grand reward one, and it also had the Brendan one on there. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. See, here's the funny thing. So we drove by that billboard that's coming in and out of Two Rivers and Manitowoc like 100 times, me and Linda. And I didn't notice it until I don't know if that's just because I'm an idiot but I might have even looked at it and thought, wow, that's a lot of money, and didn't connect it. I don't know. But like, yeah. So, but there is a billboard coming in and out of, like she said, it's on, what was that? What the Memorial Road, Maritime.
Memorial Drive that changes. It's like Memorial and Maritime. It's all, we're driving along the lake. So,
right. Yeah, beautiful area, by the way. I love the Two Rivers area. It's very gorgeous. The house we stayed at was very nice. I enjoyed my little twin bed. I miss my bed.
I bet. I enjoyed sleeping on my own bed last night.
Right. I was like, I enjoyed the trip, but I do miss my bed, and I do miss my puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot on my mind. That's what I was saying to Linda, and certain billboards are not bad ideas. They're really not. But like when I'm traveling places and I have my GPS out and I'm trying to concentrate on where I'm going, I'm not going to pay attention to the billboards. So certain areas, I feel like billboards just wouldn't work. But if you're a local and you know where you're going, it would work.
I don't know. Being a passenger in a car, it maybe not for single drivers, but being a passenger driving with Victoria home and there, I noticed the billboards. And
yeah, well, that's the other thing. Yeah, I wasn't the passenger; I was the driver. So, yeah.
I said to Victoria on the way home that they should actually put one on the highway. I mean, in like the big major highways, not just those local roads, because
major highways. I think a major highway outside of the town would be good because, like I said, especially if you're just driving around and you've never been the area, you're not paying attention to billboards. You're paying attention to traffic and signs and where are you going and whatever.
But there's also I think if you do it more on a major highway where there's people just passing through on their way to Minnesota, on their way to Canada, and coming up from Indianapolis or wherever, even if they're going to a different town in Wisconsin, they may see the sign about Brendan and they may not know about the case. Where Two Rivers and Manitowoc definitely know about the case. I mean, come on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we need more Wisconsinites and more eyes too. Like there might be somebody living in southern Wisconsin coming up to Green Bay or something, and they pass along this highway and they get notice of this sign, and they may go home and look it up where they didn't know otherwise. Especially now, because think about it. Brendan was like 16 when this happened. So people who were like 14, 12, they're now adults, you know? This has
Yeah.
been 16 years. So people who were like 4 years old back then may not know about the case. And you put that sign out there, and we really need to reach some of the younger people because they need to get involved as well, because you know, people don't live forever. We're just going to keep getting older, and we need to have more and more eyes on this case for as long as it takes. Not just this case. I mean, this is definitely a, you know, starting point, but like you said, there's so many other cases across the whole country that even Luke Mitchell out there in Scotland that, you know, are just wrong. And things need to change, or just going to keep happening.
I agree.
Which we know it'll keep happening, even to the same person. I mean, it can happen to you more than once. So, on that note, you want to change the system, not just free the boys. That's part of it. That's a big part of it, is freeing them all, freeing the boys, freeing Brendan. Who's that one that's in the Ryan Ferguson case, who's innocent and he's still in prison? You know what I mean?
Oh, Charlie Erickson.
Yeah, Erickson. So
Yeah.
you got, you know, Daniel Holtzclaw, a wrongfully convicted cop. You have all of these people that are just, it's so easy. It seems like it's so easy to wrongfully convict a person. And it seems like that should not be the case.
Right. You know, and the younger people, like was Zach saying that he joined a Manitowoc group, and there was a lot of younger people in it that didn't understand, you know, Brendan's case and all that. And they're also the ones that we need to reach, because especially those younger kids that are turning 18, 19, 20 who are starting to vote. Because, you know, if you can get to the voters, then you'll get to the politicians.
Right.
And those kids are the ones that are going to be voting the most, or we need them to vote. You know, they're going to grow up and they're going to vote for things. So
well, maybe they'll even grow up and become a judge that isn't, you know, they want to change the system from within. They want to become lawyers. They want to them something, you know, positive with that power instead of the way that it has been for the past, you know, like I said, I told somebody over the weekend, the first Manitowoc sheriff news article I saw about corruption in Manitowoc in the sheriff's department was 1908.
Yeah.
Now think about that for a second. That's over 100 years where Manitowoc sheriffs have been getting away with corruption. Manitowoc law enforcement, Manitowoc in general. So that's a scary thought. I don't want it to see. I want it to end. I don't want it to be another 100 years before people change the system.
You're right. Yeah. Somebody mentioned the walk that I at the salvage yard. We call it Brendan's walk from the bus stop to the trailers. Now I did have to edit the video a little bit because Chuck was very gracious and let us go down there, but he just didn't want us to film or take pictures of the trailers. One of them is his actual home, so that's why. And the other one, he doesn't own that. They don't own that property that Steven's trailer sits on. That's not even
Johnson's.
Saying even really Steven's trailer. He just lived in it. It was Roland Johnson. So I did edit it a little bit, so you definitely don't see those things. But from the bus stop to the end of that road, I did record myself walking, and I gotta tell you, that's a long walk from the stop to the house. So, and it was hot and miserable at that point for me. So if I was a teenager, I would be like, this is the worst. So, but you know, walking that and realizing that this is where Brendan and Blaine would walk back and forth for school every morning and evening. And then seeing where the bus driver, there's no way she could have seen Teresa in her car. Or I don't even think she could see the van, to be honest with you.
Well, this is the thing. She said it was at the area where she drops off. Like it was right out in front there. And there was a red and black Blazer pictured in front there several weeks earlier. So I'm wondering if she's just mistaking the day. Like she may have actually seen Teresa take a picture of the red and black Blazer before October 31st. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's another thing Carol is making a comment. The one thing that the vegetation was probably not that mature back then. And you're probably right. A lot of the stuff that we saw, especially like we didn't go there this year. I'm kicking myself for not taking Carrie to Cuss Road. Yeah, we forgot about that. There was so much shit going on that day. But anyway, that's the one thing about it's almost like they're letting it overgrow. You know what I mean? Especially Cuss Road. Because, you know, in the old, back then, you could stand on Cuss Road and you could see clear across the field or whatever. Oh, there's a deer.
They built up the berm over there so that you can't walk onto that. They have a sign there, trespassing. Like
right.
Even if I walk on that berm to look over, I would not be able to see anything because I could get in trouble for trespassing. So I didn't attempt it. You know, I didn't want to get arrested and be able to walk you guys. That was nobody wanted. I think part of the reason the berm was built up is because all that land now that was in front of like Cuss Road, you could go straight, and on one side it would be green grass and the other side was quarry. You could actually drive across. It was flat, you know, like you see a cop car come in and there's a picture of it faced that way, like it came from Cuss Road in one of the evidence pictures. However, that area that's all in front now, which would have been the grass area in front of the quarry, that's all quarry now. So they don't want you in there because of the quarry, you know. It's not no longer
danger, it's a hazard, and
probably for that reason as well.
Yeah, the person who owns the property doesn't want people all up in there, and because that's a hazard to him. Like as far as someone gets hurt, then he's liable for it. So I understand that.
It's like OSHA laws and shit like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the walk itself though, like we had a nice moment, all of us. We weren't allowed to film it or anything or take pictures. I was
going to mention that. The circle was also another highlight of mine at over there, you know, linked up and held hands, and I made someone hold my elbow because I was smoking. So anyway.
Yeah, we all stood in that round circle thing where the houses are. We all held hands and we all said some words, and Lisa S did a prayer.
That was a beautiful prayer too, by the way.
Prayer, yeah, and it just and I'm an energy person, like I was saying to Victoria, because that was her idea to do, and it was just an amazing idea. But I'm just an energy person in general. Like I love when energies all come together as one, and we're all just, you know, no matter who you are or where you're from, and we're all here for the same reason. And it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful that when I finally got to my car and I was driving away with Linda, I actually like choked up and cried a little bit. And I don't usually do that in front of people. So yeah.
I cried, but it wasn't because of a good moment. I don't cry in happiness. I cry in, I don't know, other reasons.
Well, there's a lot of sadness too, because, you know, there's a lot of people who've never been in that area before. I've already been there, right? So I already know that was Barb and Brendan's house. That was Steven's trail.
Right.
This is where the kid lived, normal up until December 31st, 2006. And then just like everything changed for him. And he was just like a normal kid. And then just everything was just a very like emotional looking at the house and just being like, this was his last home. You know? And did I fall out?
No, you were kind of breaking up a little bit, so kind of had to make up what you said in my head. I got the gist.
That was his last home, and then now and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of emotion for me as far as Brendan himself, and like just I don't let myself think like that.
Yeah.
If I constantly think about the negatives of stuff, then I'll be super depressed. So I try to think of positive things and what can I do to help and blah blah blah. But like moments like that where it's just like the reality of the situation is that he was a kid. And now he's in prison, and he grew up in prison, and this was his home, and it's crazy to me. You know, that was the walk to get to school bus, you know, and then he'd drive off to school in his school bus. It's just, yeah.
And one day he took that school bus to school and never came home, and that's
never came home. Yeah, he never came home. Just a regular morning for him, and he just never came home. It's just crazy. But yeah, no, I'm probably gonna cry a lot more when I leave my sister's house. So
wow. Linda cried giving me a hug goodbye, and I hugged her.
She started crying.
That's what I'm gonna do when you cry. I'm just gonna hold you.
She started to cry, but she didn't do that. I think she was just like, "Hey, get out of here."
She's like, I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to bed. I'm going to lay down. Go home. Go away. No, I'm joking.
They need to change that law, Jasnaz. The teacher should have done more, he says, and I think so too. I think there should be a law.
I agree.
If you want to talk, unless a crime is happening in the school, a cop should not be invited to talk to anybody at the school. You know what?
With that, I think that right. I think the school itself is partly responsible for the fact that these grown-ass adults came in and took, that's another thing I just cannot comprehend. Like, if I was the parent and you came into the school and you were took my kid to the, it's like, where you should have waited, like, where am I? And I know a lot of people are like, well, Barb gave permission or whatever, but like, they still should have waited for her.
Do we really know that? Do we know that that's actually what happened?
I don't know.
Did she have any knowledge of the February? I mean, when did she actually give permission? Because remember, they took him out of school on the 27th, and then they took him out of school again on the 1st.
Right.
So did she give permission to do the second interview, or did she give permission to do the first? You know, because it should have been the first interview. They should have said, "Look, it is 16 years old. We want he may be a witness of a crime. We would like to speak with him. Would you mind bringing him into Two Rivers when you get off work?"
Yeah, exactly. So you could be there with him. But I also think that even if Barb was there, it probably, like, reality, it probably wouldn't have made a difference like that, because the police know how to manipulate the parents just as well as the kid.
Well, agreed. And that's when they should have said, we want to talk. And that's when it should be necessary for some kind of law enforcement, as well as the parent, to be there to understand the law. The law, I don't even understand the law. I can't comprehend some of the complexity of it. It's like, what do you mean? How that is how it is? And that's just how it is, because the law says it's that way, but it shouldn't be that way. The law should not have that, be able to keep an innocent person in prison for so long. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to see change. I want them free, but I want change as well in the system.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't ever want to see another Brendan or even Steven. You know what I mean? I never want to see another wrongfully convicted individual who spends 20, 30 years in prison, and then they finally, like, oh, are bad, and then they release them, and it's just like, it's whatever.
And then you go to sue them because, oh, my bad, and then you get wrongfully convicted a second time. That could happen to Brendan if he gets out. Think about that. Even if they let him out, they can still frame him for another crime and put him back in for another 16, 17 years.
Barb answered your question. Neither of them days.
Oh, see, so no, they didn't ask her for permission. You know,
Right.
where was the
Even
legal
worse.
guardian or adult?
Yeah, because these grown-ass detectives come into the school and just take your kid and you have no say in it.
How about if they don't call the parents and because maybe the parent is the, perp of a crime, that there is somebody at the school with some kind of law knowledge that if a cop, because during 8 to 3 or 8 to 4, they're in the custody of the school. So maybe there should be a liaison at the school that is for the children if a cop comes in and talks to them.
Right. There should be whether it's some sort of special education counselor or a lawyer that deals specifically with youngsters. But either way, it should be, like you said, required by law to have somebody sit in there with your child, whether you're there or not, and represent they have it when you have a kid that goes up in court and child services stuff. There is somebody there that represents the child on the child's behalf. You know what I mean? It should be like,
and then not to mention, not just a child, he was a disabled person in a lot of senses. He has disability where, language is an issue for him. Communicating is himself to people and that kind of thing is the issue with his learning disability. So there should be somebody there, like even an adult who is disabled should always have someone there, a liaison on their behalf.
I agree, because more often than not, even adults falsely confess to crimes they didn't commit. Charlie Erickson and Melissa Kaluzinski are two examples of that. Both of them were over the age of 18 and confessed to crimes they didn't do. Like, what's that one woman in Texas? The one that was on death row, but now she's not. Melissa.
Oh, you're talking about the one from Texas. I can't remember her. Give me a second.
Right, I can't remember her name either. But she was a grown woman with children.
Melissa Lucio.
Yeah, Lucio. Yeah, she was a grown woman who had tons of children. No offense, but like tons of children, and she confessed to it. Darlie Lucio.
No, Melissa. It's Melissa Lucio, and Darlie Routier is wrongfully convicted, but I don't think she ever confessed. She's just wrongfully convicted.
Yeah, she never confessed to it. She was just accused of it. But yeah. Wrongful convictions can literally happen to anybody, and like that was
and they do every day.
Yeah. No matter if you're rich or you're poor. I mean, it's easier when you're rich because you have the money to fight it.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I don't want to be mean about it, but Ryan Ferguson's family was very rich, and yes, he was wrongfully convicted, but his father had the money to advocate for him in ways that really helped get him out. You know what I mean?
And people don't have that.
And a lot of people don't have that, exactly. That's why we have all these fundraisers and stuff for billboards for Brendan and stuff like that, or, you know, and we rely on our community to try to do these things because, you know, it's expensive. Being incarcerated in general is really expensive.
Right.
But
hell, just to buy food that, you know, like
right, proper food, not even just because they'll give you food, but I mean food that you actually want to eat. And and that still is shitty food. It still is.
Yep.
Yeah, Linda just tweeted this. If everybody wants to go find her on Twitter, it's History Speaks to Me. But she said every day it took Brendan 7 minutes to walk home from the bus, but now it has taken 16 years. That's a powerful statement.
Yep.
Sorry.
It is powerful.
Of course, I have to burp after that profound statement. Is there any more highlights that I can think?
Sure.
Just sent you.
They pulled out the big banner again. I don't, the big, the old.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna mute real quick.
Billboard, the old billboard that was out there last year. They had that come out again last year. That was pretty cool seeing that again. We love you, Barb. You hear that, people? I'm a Barb supporter, so kiss my butt if you don't like it. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that. Just go away. I like the after event. I got to talk to everybody more, not having to worry about getting our message out. That was nice to do.
Right. I
good.
Pay a toll.
Oh, pay your tolls.
Yep, gotta pay a toll.
You mean they don't make you pay them online like they do here in Illinois? You actually get to pay it?
I have yet to pay last year's toll online. Yeah, I did hear
you get around to that because they'll be like charging you bucks and bucks and bucks for late fees.
Yeah, one day they're gonna be like, "You owe us $1,000, Miss Nash. You've been traveling through our tolls for how many years?" And be like, "Oh shit." If they didn't make it so difficult, if they just take my money at the toll, I would do it.
Right.
Anyway, but yes, we are. I thought it was a very positive rally, especially around the family. Like, I heard you say we're all Barb lovers, and that's the truth. We all love and care about Barb. It was great seeing Scott at the after party. I think he's an awesome guy. Really hilarious.
I really got to talk to him this year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've always said.
Didn't hear a perspective of someone else, to be honest. Like, I don't necessarily reach out to you guys, the family, much about the case, but it was interesting to hear some of the stuff Scott had to say. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That was a good combo. I was glad I had that with him.
Yeah. It puts a perspective of these are real people, right? Like, it's not just. Yeah, it's not just a case that we're working on or we're trying to advocate for. These are real people going through real things, and they're really suffering, and they all have their likes and dislikes and personalities, and
I know there are people who believe, the family was involved in some way, but you have to remember too that convicting him like this without a trial, without any evidence being presented, it's no different than the media doing it to Stephen Avery back in the day, and that everyone has their right of innocence before, they have the presumption of innocence.
Exactly.
Prove me guilty in the court of law, not in the media of whatever of opinion, right, because that's really all I am. I know I have my suspect, but even my suspect is innocent until proven otherwise. Okay.
That's the
I
whole
wish they would have looked at my suspect more. So, but I still can't say he's guilty of anything because it hasn't been proven. So I just have a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence that points to a deeper investigation into him that needed to be done.
Oh, guess what? I'm in Ohio now.
Yay! Ohio.
But yeah, so but that's exactly another thing. I know this was a discussion that we had a lot, but like behind the scenes, but with the whole Bobby thing and all that, until somebody shows me absolute proof that, and I mean proof. I don't mean circumstantial shit like, a guy saw somebody 20 years ago who was this young kid that looked like he could have been pushing something. I'm talking about like real proof, like a fingerprint or something substantial that shows that Bobby was involved.
Right.
Until then, accusing Bobby is no different than what Brendan went through 16 years ago.
Right.
So that's just my personal opinion on that, you know, and everyone has a right to their opinion as far as who did what. But until you have, you know, that's what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, when all this hate that the family gets, that ruins their life in a way.
My message to those supporters who want to attack and that kind, not just the family, but other supporters because they disagree with their suspect or person of interest, is there's one thing we can all agree on, I think, and that is that the system is corrupted, and it's not just who did it, it's how do we change it in the system, and that's my other message. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to Buffalo, Roxana. I'm going to Buffalo to visit my sister. And then this Friday, I believe, I'm leaving to go home to Arizona. So, but yeah.
she's got a long haul still to go to get home.
Yeah. Ridiculous, let me tell you. This was like I'll feel better when I get there, but until then I'm just kind of like, really, Rebecca, really, we decided to do this. I need to get
almost 24 hours for your drive home, if I remember right, something like that. It was like a long Buffalo to Arizona.
Yeah, and usually when I'm heading home, I'm a little bit more pushy of let's get there because I don't want to be in this fucking.
Doesn't it take longer usually though? Like this time it didn't, but it just seems like you're so worn out. It just seems like it's taking forever.
Feels like it.
Hi, Mose.
Mose, look, another soul.
Well, every 20 minutes, every 20 feet.
It feels like it. Somebody was honking. I don't know what they were honking, but it better not have been me.
I think I'm gonna say my goodbyes now because my voice is hurting. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm probably gonna get off of here too because we've been talking for a good hour about highlights, and I can't really think of any bad moments of the rally, to be honest with you. Other than that cop flipping us off, everyone was very loving and generous and awesome, and we got a lot of positive feedback from the locals, and they took a lot of flyers and a lot of business cards. Those business cards were a great hit. I'm going to be definitely ordering a bunch more when I get home, and then I'll be sending some out to some people.
Yeah, you know what I didn't get to do? I didn't get to do my postcard.
Right. I did. You know, there's a lot of things that I forgot. I forgot to do the postcard thing while we were out there. During Calumet, got the other rallies. But, you know, I'm still going to be sending postcards off to people anyway. So we're still continuing with that campaign. So,
right, which is what I'm saying. I'm requesting. I actually have some postcards, but they're packed in a box. I'm requesting at least one postcard so I can send Evers my message and sign it sick.
I have a couple of postcards ideas. I have some T-shirt ideas I'm going to be working on when I get home. I just need to find a freak that doesn't exist anymore in America, or something. We'll figure something out. But yeah, we've got tons of plans and stuff coming up that for more events. There's a food thing coming up that I need to make an event for. Yeah. So thank you everybody for being at the rally. I said it a million times there, and I'll say it a million times again. It really couldn't have happened without everybody's help and coming together, and I just appreciate everyone being there and taking a stand for Brendan and Stephen.
Together we're stronger.
Yep, together we're stronger. And hopefully we'll get some good news in the next couple of weeks from Zellner. And yeah, thank you for coming up, Jinx.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to my speech.
Yeah. Love you all, and I hope everyone has a good day.
Big virtual hugs to everyone. Bye.
Bye, family.